Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Nightcap Knowledge. Put the children to bed, get your adult beverage, and get ready. Nightcap Knowledge is rated black and uncensored and hosted by longtime community organizer and entertainment professionals Mr. Mac and DJ George Chuck. Real talk, real issues, real solutions. Nightcap Knowledge on Facebook, IG, and Twitter. Tune in and share.
One time for everybody checking in with us this fine Tuesday evening, 9:01 p.m. Central Time to be exact. No matter where you at, no matter what you're doing, we're glad to have you here with us. Share this with somebody that you know that needs a little something to put on their mental before they go to bed. Tuesday night, every Tuesday night, it's Nightcap Knowledge right here on the Facebook that you need to know about, the one that you need to follow. It is
Black with No Chaser.
Share this with somebody right now. Get in the comments. Let us know that you're out there. Mr. Mac, DJ George, Chuck, we are here. We want to remind you about the 6th annual Mississippi Black Business Expo, the People's Marketplace, all going down Saturday, August 21st, 2021 at 12 p.m. all the way to 5 p.m. If you are a Black-owned business in the state of Mississippi, we need you to go to Mississippi Black Pages. That's msblackpages.com to reserve your space or update your listing today. We'll have business workshops, food courts, and the family fun zone at the People's Marketplace, the 6th annual Mississippi Black Business Expo, Saturday, August 21st, 2021, 12 to 5 p.m. at the Jackson Convention Complex, right there in downtown Jackson. If you need more info, contact msblackpages@gmail.com or just hit them up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. That is MS Black Pages, Mississippi Black Pages everywhere. For everybody out there in WW land, we see you. All of our folks on Nightcap Knowledge, our folks on Twitch, our folks over at Black with No Chaser, and our YouTubers. We appreciate y'all for checking in with us tonight. We got an awesome guest, Miss Cyndee Price. She will be checking in with us later on, but you know we got to get our community recap, our mental health minute, and then me and Matt got to check in and see what we drinking tonight. As always, it is Nightcap Knowledge. Aha! Where you at, Miggity Mac?
DJ George Chuck in the mix. What's the deal, man?
Hey, man. Hey, I really like that that Meek Mill-esque song for the intro. Like I be feeling like I'm about to like introduce Meek Mill every week.
Hey, you better drop some bars right now.
Hey, man, look, got to get it, man. Got to get it. So once again, thank everybody for tuning in to Nightcap Knowledge. Mac, give them that disclaimer, bro.
This show is rated black and uncensored, real talk, real issues, real solutions. And so don't get offended. Ain't no telling what we might not say, what we might say. But definitely it's going to be something that we're going to do, put some action behind, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to be about it.
Yeah, man, most definitely. And once again, this is Nightcap Knowledge right here on Black with No Chaser. My name is DJ George Chuck. That's Mr. Mac. Mac, man, give us the community recap, man. What we've been doing this week. I know we still got the New Freedom Summer Project going on, and then we got an action-packed weekend this weekend.
Yes,
so go ahead and give us the recap so far.
So far, last week was Tuesday, Wednesday, boxing class went good. Thursday, we did Therapeutic Thursday, and we started to work on grief depression, right? That we talked about that briefly. But then we started putting some things in perspective, rolling into this week. You know, we got a jam-packed week. This week, we got other things that are happening. We know back to school events are starting. A lot of other community events, still getting now. Back to voter registration, voter engagement. I actually pitched the idea that we had as part of the round table discussion about using motivation for juniors and seniors to register more people to vote at JPS, and also to get them engaged in the community. So that's one thing I pitched this week. And then coming up, we got Freedom Summer. It's rolling fast. This is the last week for Freedom Summer. So we have the reading feed. I'll give big shout out to our guy over there, DJ Young Venom, Offbeat, donated some posters, Chuck. So we got some posters. We got some Luke Cage posters. We got some Black Panther posters. So if you got small children and they like Marvel, if they like all that, we got some posters for them. And they miss the opportunity to get the comic book. So got some of those so we can get them out to some of the people. And we're getting ready to get it up for this week. Man, it's going to be a jammed packed week, starting Thursday for us, nonstop all the way through Sunday, and getting geared up and get ready for back to school events for next week. Can't hear you, Chuck.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's why you couldn't hear me. I was adjusting my microphone and my lights. I'm coming straight in from a gig, so I ain't had a chance to do nothing but wash my hands and eat. So my lighting ain't right. My microphone ain't in the right position. All that. It's all good though. But look, this weekend we've got the new Freedom Summer kind of culmination, right, Mac? Looks like Mac is frozen, but this Friday we have the Freedom Celebration, and we'll be celebrating the 80th birthday of Hollis Watkins Muhammad. Mac, we can see you again. You move around. You look like you almost yourself.
Okay.
But we'll be celebrating the life and commemorating the transition of freedom fighter Bob Moses, one of the original members of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. So a lot to do on Friday, and then Saturday we got a couple things going on Saturday. The HBC I Love My HBCU Day Party at the Ag Museum, and then Sunday will be in Utica, right, at the Family Day in Utica. So we will be out and about and being as safe as we possibly can be, because the Delta variant of the coronavirus is surging, and we're gonna put our mask on and make the money and feed the family. So we appreciate anybody that's bought a ticket to any of these events, reserved their seat for these events, and made a donation to make sure that we can commemorate our freedom fighters and celebrate freedom the way that we should, in the place that we should, which is Tougaloo College. So if you need more information about that, we'll get the graphic up later, but you can go to msmove.org to check out information, or you can go to the Facebook or Instagram. So we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And right about now, it's time for Mr. Mac's Mental Health Minute.
Man, the mental health minute is a combination. I talk about these two things all the time: responsibility and perseverance. Perseverance is going to go back to things are rough, things are hard. You can't give up. You got to keep going. Don't just complain and hope and think they should get better. Work at it. You know what I'm saying? And keep fighting. But the responsibility part of it is, it's our responsibility to carry on the legacies that these folks built. And we're talking about Dr. Moses, we're talking about Brother Hollis, talk about so many folks that have been working, and a lot of them who actually been teaching us. It's our responsibility to keep this going, right? So it's our responsibility to teach the children, to actually be that safeguard between the youth and the elders, but it's our responsibility. You got to quit asking and looking for somebody to come and fix it for us. Just like the situation we talked about tonight, we're bringing Cyndee on. It's our responsibility. In the day and time of, when Brother Hollis and Dr. Moses was our age, what would they been doing? It's our responsibility. Right. They did it when it was their turn. Now it's our turn. And sometimes things might look different, but we still have the same responsibility as advocating and fighting for freedom, and that's by any means necessary. And the perseverance is, we can't give up. We got to get back to where our people was known for giving out before we give up. And we got to keep working hard and have a plan and work together and be disciplined, create a process. We got to do what we have to do, but we can't give up. And we got to do that. So that's what I say to inspire. Don't know how much it will help, but no matter what the situation is, don't give up.
Yeah, that's right.
And so many movies I heard, they said, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're speaking physically or metaphorically, you got to keep fighting. Don't give up. Keep fighting. And as you see, I got the appropriate shirt for the night.
There you go.
Civil rights and lefts.
Introduction to civil rights and left. Like, hey,
keep fighting.
Yeah, freedom ain't free. You got to fight for it. And then look, you might have to aim at somebody's teeth.
Hit him in the mouth.
Yeah, man, you got to hit them in the mouth. And speaking of things that you should put in your mouth, we definitely want to give a shout out to Aspira Pure. Water never tasted this magnificent before. As you can see, Mac and I are enjoying our Aspira Pure ionized alkaline water with the electrolytes. Absolutely outstanding water. You can get that on Amazon, in the Amazon marketplace, and it's definitely there for you, and it'll get to you quickly. So shout out to Aspira Pure. You can make your order and it'll get to you in a few days. Ain't that right, Mac?
That's right, man. My box came the other day and I've been diving into it. Especially since I made another big shout out. Our boy over there, our friend, that brother's really doing some good stuff. Eric over at Herbal Blessings. I had to go by and rack up and get me some stuff. And I'm telling you, the best combination. You have those natural herbs go together with some alkaline water. I'm telling you, I'm feeling like a new man already.
And there it is. So we want to thank our folks that are in business and doing business well. And we definitely hope to see them at the Black Business Expo on August 21st, 2021 at the Jackson Convention Complex. Now, Matt, we got to lead this in, man, because this is a young lady that we've known for quite a while. We've done our fair share of hanging out back in the Gap. And I'm talking about like hanging out, man. We done through parties, we done hosted barbecues, and now look at us as responsible adults and parents and you know, officials. We talk about people that are actually doing things, living living our creed. Like, you know, we walking in sermons and just not preaching them. So this young lady, who also happens to be my Sarah, my sister, is from Michigan, but she found and has placed down her roots in Mississippi. So we got that Midwest, them Great Lakes, all the way down to the Mississippi River Basin. Talk to me about how this young lady ended up being our guest tonight.
Well, my wife said we got an alert. Cyndee says she's the police has been called on her. I said, Cyndee, I'm like, what? You know, jokingly, what did Cyndee do? And so, you know, we like, you know, there was a situation where she was about to call everybody, and, you know, including Congressman Thompson, when there was a concern about her husband, right? And you know, big shout out to Adrian. We continue to pray for him. And they were like, no, she was trying to get medicine, and everything went to the left. You know, and I don't care what nobody say. You can know them personally or whatever. In my book, they racist. They had implicit biasness, and they showed a lot of prejudiceness and how they treated her. When she went to go and pick up medicine, and she was trying to get a medicine that was supposed to be ready prior to. I understand how that works because that works. That happened to me today, and it was not ready, and they called the police on her. And the first officer showed up, very standoffish, and called backup like she was doing something. Now, this is a small frame lady in a big old truck with two children in the back that you clearly can see, and one of them is sick, and she's trying to get medicine for a child. Yeah, and it went downhill from there. So the video I sent you, Chuck, the link for the video that shows a lot of what happened, but it upset me, and I definitely don't want this to go unnoticed, and I definitely don't want it to go unhandled, where somebody has to pay the price and also, you know, hold accountability for this, because this is large. This is traumatic. You know, you want to know why younger Black children that are 21-year-olds, 30-year-olds now don't have a certain relationship with law enforcement? It's because they were riding in the car with their parent that wasn't doing anything, and they were pulled over and harassed.
Just like
you know, and I'm just saying. So don't try to pretend like it's a media spin. I see a lot of that with predominantly white agencies trying to pretend like the media is spending it. No, you have children that's riding in the car with their parents who are not doing anything, singing songs. Then all of a sudden, their parent is being harassed by law enforcement. So we have Miss Cyndee on the show, and she could tell us play by play from what happened and why it happened, and hopefully we can get to the bottom of the story. And Chuck, I'm going to resend you that video to your email.
Okay, we want to play that because I got the link. I can bring it up real quick.
Okay, yeah, we'll play some of that.
All right, so Cyndee, give us an introduction to yourself while I pull up the video, and I'll only play a clip of it because you did one of the smart things. You started recording early. So give us an intro of yourself and tell us a little bit about your husband, your kids, and all of that, and then that way that'll give me time to get that video pulled up.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you all for having me on your podcast, your show tonight, to hopefully affect change, discuss some things that we normally don't want to discuss. So I want to thank you there, or that it's hard for us to be in a room and discuss, to get those results that we need. So my name is Cyndee Price, for all that may or may not know. I am a graduate of Jackson State University, Jackson State University. I hold a bachelor's in political science and a master's in criminology and justice services. I have been working for a federal entity for the past decade, and I currently am a union president where I represent approximately 700 bargaining unit members advocating for their rights as federal employees. And that's what I'm down here in Texas right now doing some extensive training just to perfect my craft, making sure that I'm doing what's right for everyone involved. Back in April of this year, my husband suffered a massive stroke on his left side of his brain. And he had some swelling on his right, which they had to end up doing a craniotomy to open up the space for his brain to swell, which then he ended up having 2 more intensive strokes on the right side. And then he had some multiple strokes in his brainstem. So his prognosis was not the greatest, but his brother and I dealt with that, handled it. We're receiving God's final say and not the medical physicians say. They said that he would never open his eyes again, be responsive, follow commands, move, anything, basically lying there, not in the vegetative state, but basically no quality of life. And since then, my husband is opening his eyes. He is responding. He's squeezing.
Shut up, Lloyd. The camera is not coming out. Mind your.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was like, what's that?
That's you.
Yeah, right. I was like, how am I double talking here? No, but he is able to identify voices. He cannot talk right now. We have a long road with that. I've been fighting with the medical side of his care, fighting at work, now fighting with the care for my children, and still trying to keep my head above water. So to say the least, I'm a little bit tired, but God continues to sustain me. So I'm here and I'm ready to talk about what needs to be discussed and answer what questions you have.
Very good, very good. We appreciate you for being here. We appreciate your service as a union representative, because when we get together and we own our labor, but we also, when we own our labor, we are able to bargain collectively, as you said, and make sure that we get the best bang for our buck. So we are definitely appreciative of your service there, and then also we're gonna be praying for you and your family. And thank you for taking the time to be here.
So, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, most definitely. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna show a little snippet. I'll fade the music out. We'll show. I'm gonna share my screen here. We're gonna show a snippet of the interaction that Cyndee had with a Ridgeland police officer. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, Ridgeland police officer.
All right, so here we go. Let's get this pulled up here, and that's you looking like yourself. A crazy face.
You'd rather call the police than to get my stuff filled, and I'm still sitting here waiting on a prescription that could have been filled 15 minutes ago? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I cannot wait until I can call everybody, to include Jesus, on these people, because you're not going to treat me, and pull, I'm going to call the police. Also, you pulled a Karen and a Nick. Not today. Sure will not be. Call who you need to call. I'm sitting right here waiting on my prescription for my sick son. my sick child who's back there sick. I'm calling. Do what you got to do. Ma'am, tell me what law, tell me what statute I've broken by sitting here waiting on my prescription for my children. That's not disorderly. Tell me what's disorderly. Tell me what's disorderly about sitting here patiently, quietly. Tell me what's disorderly.
Right now, you have a choice. You can either make the loop around or the business.
Ma'am, there are 7 people. They told me it would be ready in 20 minutes.
I'm telling you what the business is doing right now.
I'm sorry.
Is prepared to sign charges against you for interference with the business.
What
Right now,
can you show me? Can you provide that law, please? Because there's never even been a law, ma'am. That ain't even that's not even a statute for Ridgeland Police Department. Interfering with a business, that's not even that doesn't even exist.
you can take that up with the court if you wish to.
I don't need to take that up to the court from a law enforcement officer to another. Look at me in my face right here, right now, as Miss Rose, Officer Rose, as respectfully as you are to me and I am to you. Interference with a police. If you would have said that I was just like you said, disorderly conduct, that would mean that I would be up here banging on stuff, being loud, being aggressive. I'm not doing any of those things. But I came here as a patron to ensure
The business is asking you to move until they can get
the prescription is filled, literally filled. I have them ready. You're refusing me my medical prescription. Do you see my son? Miss, do you see my son? You can't. I'm not violating a law. Listen to me. Look at him. Look at that one. Do you see my son?
All right. So from that moment there, Cyndee, break it down how you were feeling by the time that officer walked off. Got to unmute.
Sorry, I'm sorry. So at that moment, I really felt that really no matter what I would have said to her, she had already made up in her mind and predetermined that she was going to take me to jail. No matter if I would have said my child in the background, stop breathing, dead, she had already finalized her decision without even taking in consideration that I am of the Blue Lives Matter.
All of that.
All of that you could clearly see that my child was in some sort of detriment, ailment, that I was not making up my story, that her statement was, they're asking you to make a loop until your prescription is filled. Well, my prescription is actually filled and it's ready. So there would actually at this point be no need for me to make a loop around when you could just give me my prescription. And if you play that video a little further, that was the next thing that I asked Josh.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and give me my prescription? If you're saying that your whole argument was, it was not ready, I need you to make a loop around until it's ready. But you had just told me that it was ready. So where is what am I interfering with now? What would be your excuse now?
And I will say this, that now I know different protocols at different CVS. I've seen just yesterday and today, you sit there. Matter of fact, there was a JPD car in front of me, and there was another car in front of that one, and they sat there in the drive-through and waited until the prescription was filled. Yeah, there was no reason to drive around.
The day prior, like I literally stayed in the line for 40 minutes waiting for another car who was up there 15 minutes, and I was the third car back.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying. When you see bullshit and you call out bullshit, and that's what we're talking about. So what's the protocol with CVS? And then it goes back again to with Ridgeland PD, because they make up their own laws with their own rules. You know, they got a 3-ticket rule up there in Ridgeland. They have to give you 3 tickets and automatically go to jail. You know, they come up with different things and how they handle it. But the thing was, you created a situation. Where's no need to be a situation. Right. But yeah, so I never heard of that, you know, they're going to make you loop around for what was in the cars behind you, Cyndee?
There were, when I first pulled up, there was not. And then as time progressed, it went from 2 cars to 4 cars to, I think by the end it was like 7. And then it went to no cars before she even pulled me out of or asked me to step out of the car. or pull, whatever, because she became bold and brazen once her backup came. Without giving me a directive, mind you, but neither here nor there. It went to 0 cars. So now I guess everyone who was behind me decided to go in.
Yeah.
And so
Which
now
is
then,
what I would do. Like, all right, if a person is in line, they waiting on their prescription, and I know that my stuff, if I don't feel like waiting, and I'm not concerned about, any of, me walking in the store, I got my mask, I can mask up, and I'm gonna go in the store. I'm gonna get my stuff. I'm gonna be on about my way. Now I might talk about you, like, man, that lady, her prescription took so damn long and all of that. But that's me in my car. I ain't saying nothing to your face. I done said what I needed to say to the rearview mirror, right?
Right.
We all do that.
right.
My mind is like, what's the boy name? Josh.
Josh.
Was he the pharmacist or the pharmacy tech?
He was the pharmacist. The first interaction I had with the pharmacist tech was a young lady. I didn't get her name.
Uh-huh.
And then Josh was the pharmacist.
Why, Josh? We got good people named Josh. Like, you're disgracing the Joshes.
All the Joshes. Oh, America.
All the Joshes, man. Like, you making Joshes look bad out here. Like, what was your deal? And I don't know.
And that was an argument. If I could have gone in, I would have gone. I actually needed to go in to get some other items, but because Chandler was sick,
right, you don't want to get your kids in and out.
Pack
right.
them. Do you know how hard it is to get 5 and a 3-year-old up there? Yes. Get them to get on one accord, go in and do what you gotta do.
Yes.
And on top of that, he's sick. No.
Yeah. No, you really wanted to go through the drive-through. I guess my question is that like Mac was trying to get to, or like what's the protocol? What is the procedure? If it's going to be, if I come here the day before and I wait 40 minutes in line behind a person patiently because I don't want to get my kids out of the car. If that's precedent, because we talk about precedent at this point. If that's precedent, when I come back the next day to pick up another prescription and there is nobody behind me and I need to wait 40 minutes, I shouldn't have to make a loop around. I'm going to wait here until my prescription, whatever I came here to do, I accomplish that.
That makes no sense to make a loop around, because you loop around, 2 cars pull up in front of you. So now you have to wait all over again to get your medicine, when you just could have sat there and shaved off 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And when it got ready, then you pull it off. And like I say, at the CVS we go to, I might have left and pulled out of the line because I got tired of waiting. Or they told me, when steps, you can come inside if you want to, whatever the case might be. They did not tell me to move on. That's that type of entitlement, and especially since she was there the day before, and it's not said they do things differently in Ridgeland. You did it opposite of the way, and when she came back and she was at the window, then you tell her she need to pull around.
Yeah,
and it escalated from there. But the thing about it is, where is the humanity and empathy that you see a young woman who has a sick child that you can see that's on the driver's side in the back seat of the goddamn truck, and your hammerhead ass decide that you're gonna call the police and just lose
on a woman with 2 babies in the back
with a sick child. There's a lack of testicle fortitude here to do something like that.
It's a lack of humanity. Don't put no gender. Don't assign no gender. Don't do that. Don't assign no gender to this. That person was not acting like a person. That person was acting like something other than a person.
That's a lot of names coming to mind, but go ahead.
A whole lot of it. But at the end of the day, if I don't respect your humanity, and that's what this comes down to, in this moment, that all right, not damn Cyndee, but damn Cyndee, what about the kid in the back?
At least.
At the very least.
If you don't care anything about me, because, okay, whatever. What about my child that I'm clearly saying he needs this for this? And I already got an extra day without it.
Yes.
So, and I was patient the day before, and I couldn't come back the day before because I was trying to attend to my ill son.
Right.
And Chuck, I know you said that, but I got to. That was a different time frame, and we were reared differently. You have a woman who's a mother in need. And there were times where you did whatever it needed to be done to make sure that was taken care of. But then here's a good thing. Now, here's another thing. You have a female officer who shows up.
Come on.
And lack all empathy. So just go past the humanity. But you have another woman that's in need that's telling you, I have a sick child. I need help. I need assistance. And you overlook that.
You have totally ignored the baby. You ain't looked back at it one time.
No, because you're trying to keep your sight on it because you're doing your job. See, a lot of folks gonna bust hell and everything else wide open because they doing that quote unquote doing your job. And
but she suggested that I go inside. So then what? You can charge me with child endangerment and child neglect for leaving 2 small children in 90-degree weather in a car.
How you gonna go inside with a sick child? But see, that's some dumb shit that she probably would do. That's just show you the thinking capacity. That
you gonna
it makes sense.
Inside, expose the baby to more stuff, and then everybody that's already inside exposed
to whatever the baby got. That makes sense to you. I'm gonna take the baby inside. The sick baby that's sweating. I'm gonna take the baby inside. Boy, I tell you the truth. Some people, if they had a brain, they'd take it out and play with it. I'm telling you, this shit, it don't make no sense.
Now look, Cyndee, let me ask you this. I know that a couple of the officers, because I've watched the video, and we want to give a shout out to E.O. Young for his or her comments, their comments. This would not have happened, or it would not have been an issue if they did their job the day before and filled a damn prescription. Totally. Right. The question that I have is have you contacted CVS corporate and have you received a response?
I contacted CVS corporate on the day after, and I have yet to receive a response. They sent me to like 3 or 4 different departments, gave me about 2 different numbers. The last number, and I understand they have protocols as well. I can't say what, because the first woman was amazing, and I put that post up. She was a prayerful woman. She was very attentive, and she was doing what she could at the level she could. The last person that I did call told me that it would take 2 business days.
Okay.
And then I would receive a phone call from a number. Of course, it might not show up or show up as no caller ID. I have not gotten that call yet. I've been waiting for that call. It's now, today would have been day 2 because it happened on a Friday. I mean, when I called, it was Friday. So today would have been the 2nd business day. 2nd
business day. Yeah. Well, I think that, between, and we right now have, 18 to 20 folks watching between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I think it's about time for us to put the power of social media to work. And we want to give a shout out to all our friends and family members that are tuning in to Nightcap Knowledge tonight. We're discussing Cyndee and her interactions with CVS pharmacist Josh. See if we can find his Instagram.
And can I add one thing?
Go ahead.
What broke my heart?
Come on.
As a mother, was to see my child in the back, helpless, sweating profusely, afraid because he does not know what's happening. And I can't do anything to make the situation better. Because if I respond the way I want to respond in mama bear mode, then they're going to say that I'm the aggressor. Then they're going to feel justified in their behavior in subduing me, ceasing the threat, whatever dynamic you want to take. And so what broke my heart is watching my son look so out of it. And as his mother, not being able to protect him like I am supposed to do, and thinking as if his father was there as the protector, the shielder. None of this would have even occurred. And my husband, who can't even open his eyes. And then when I tell the lady, my husband is in the hospital, and you tell me you're going to call CPS over me, who is able-bodied, completely capable of taking care of our children, you'd rather take them away from me, put them in a system, then I got to fight extra days to get them back.
Or you could have just asked Josh, Josh, can you fill this latest prescription?
Or Josh
Uh,
and Josh was sitting there looking like he was waiting on the officer to answer. When I was like,
right,
Josh, can you go ahead and give me my prescription? He was looking at her like she was gonna fill it. I'm like,
right.
bruh, police can't. What are
That
you
that
doing?
ain't her wheelhouse. That ain't her wheelhouse. That is not
Right.
her wheelhouse.
Man, it's hard to just deal with folks like that. And I mean, and I applaud you, Cyndee, and handling
Yeah.
that situation the way you
Filter.
did. Yeah, it's very hard into dealing with folks that
Oh,
do such sneaky ass, underhanded, low down, entitled ass shit. And from what I've done my research and investigation, there have been several complaints filed on that CVS alone.
Hmm.
Several complaints filed on
Hmm.
CVS and how that customer service and what they do. And so it's not just a coincidence, right? So I'm quite sure the not JPD, but Ridgeland Police Department has been there before because they probably have a norm of messing with folks and messing up their stuff. But that's not the first time. They've had several other complaints filed against them. So it's time to up the ante. I don't know if there are any social justice, civil rights attorneys out there, but I see 2 complaints filed. I see 1 complaint need to be filed directly with CVS and also with the Better Business Bureau. And we need to make sure we put together a campaign. If you look like us, if you're black and brown, you need to get from around and stay away from around them and leave CVS alone. They might make money off somebody else, but they don't need to make it off our ass. If they don't want us there and they won't treat us fairly, if they won't treat one of us fairly, then we don't need to spend our money with them. Right. So that's one thing. Second thing is you need to hit them where it hurt. When you hit them in the paper, you hit them in media, and you hit them in their pockets, then they listen. You
But I
know,
want to
you got
extend it to my. I want to extend that thing to my red, brown, white, whatever color you
Everybody,
are.
yeah,
parents.
Stop spending your hard-earned dollars where people. There's no human decency. There's no compassion for the fellow man. Because if we
right.
start using the power of the green,
Hmm.
Green
then
matters.
those other things will
Hmm.
start to transpire.
Well, I'm saying for right now, we talking about this
Yeah.
damn CVS right there on in Ridgeland, right on County Line, and was that Pear
Pear
Orchard.
orchard. Mhm.
All right, that's where we start. That's where complaints have been filed already,
Yeah.
and we need to start there by not spending our money with those folks and make it
Right.
known why I'm not supporting you and not spending my money. And then there needs to be a formal complaint filed of inhuman decency or implicit biasness against Ridgeland PD for how they handle the situation. Because definitely we talk about culture and ethics and cultural competency, which is something that all of us been trained in. Big difference when the black officers show up and then when the white officers show up.
Yep.
They didn't see a mother, they didn't see a law enforcement officer, they didn't even see a human being. They just
Mhm.
seen a quote unquote criminal and they reacted versus somebody else that come in and say, okay, I can understand and I got a mother too. My mother looked like her. It's a big difference.
Right.
But they have programmed themselves not to see black people as people. They are criminals until proven and otherwise.
A
And
threat.
and we got to do something about that more than just lip service and talk. We got to get some folks. So if there are any attorneys out here that's listening, and we know several, if you want to get in and help this fight, there have been several complaints filed in Madison County in regarding the law enforcement, whether it been Madison or different ones, but there are different biasness that happens and in treating people with human decency. You see a sick mother. I mean, you see a mother with a sick child, and you had no empathy at all in trying to help her in this situation at all.
Yeah. I think your recommendations are spot on, Mac. I think what I'll do is we'll reach out. I'll make sure that we get this information to CJ and then ask him to mount that campaign specifically so that we can inform our local folks in the area because we have money and we need places to spend said money. Uh, and we need to put our dollars where they are valued and where they are respected. Hands down, that's what we're gonna do.
That's it. That's it. But it's just you know, Warren Clark has he need to make a shirt that said "Be a better human." And that's what he always say: be a better
Just
human.
to make sure we point this out, both the Caucasian, to be politically correct today,
White folk. Yeah, they white folk. This is black and this. Hey,
try
hey,
to. I watched their technique. You try to agitate the person to make them respond and come out of their
right.
character, so that they can now. When her backup finally came, she became
Mm-hmm.
step out of the car. When you was just
Mm-hmm.
over on the other side of the window, ma'am. And then when Officer Neil shows up, you put your hand inside my vehicle
I
and
saw.
unlock my door. So you
Yeah.
gonna threaten to pull me out because you never gave me a lawful command. I can't even open my door for watching you. I don't know what you're doing on this side. And with the social climate that we have right now, I'm watching
Right.
you because I don't
Right.
want my children to see what the heck is about to transpire, if anything. And like you said, I
Yeah.
recorded it from the very beginning because we always get the people, well, we don't know
We
what
don't know what
happened to
happened.
precipitate the situation.
We
And
We
don't
they
have
already,
the
already
yeah,
entire story.
and
yeah.
they're pulling up your criminal record when you was six and stole the little purse out the little Walmart because you didn't know any better. You just wanted the crayons. What does that have to do with today? What does that have to do with the moment now when I'm advocating for my sick son?
You
And
ain't
then
got
Right.
you
no.
now want to touch me. Do not touch me. So if I would have pulled away from you, now you want to do what you've been
Trying
trained
to do.
to
Hey,
do. And I thank God for Officer Thomas and Officer Gaskin, who tried to make my children feel comfortable, distract them
Right.
while I was explaining again my story for the fifth time to another officer. And you sent 4 officers out there for a black woman, a 5'4" black woman with 2 small children. What
Yeah.
threat did I pose? That's in law enforcement. What threat did I pose?
Listen at this. This is the question that popped into my mind as you recapped all of this. At what point did Officer Lady who first showed up, did she attempt to de-escalate the situation? Because one of the things that I learned from my time, and I am in no way a law enforcement officer. Let me be very clear about that. Never have been, and I don't think I ever will be. My time that I spent with law enforcement officers, one of the things that they said was immediately, if there are 2 people involved in any sort of situation, you want to get them as far apart from each other as you possibly can. If you can't get them apart, you at least want, if Cyndee is mad at the microphone, you want to get Cyndee's face to face away from the microphone and have her back to the microphone, because that's the object that she's trying to tell you about. Okay, let's get the microphone out the way. So if anything, we should have said, well, look, ma'am, we're going to try to make sure that we're going to take care of you. We're going to talk with the pharmacist to see if we can get this matter rectified as quickly as possible. Can you work with me and pull over here, and we'll try to get everything sorted out. Now, if that type of question had been asked, I think your response would have been very different. But we're not trying to de-escalate nothing.
No, no, no,
But
man.
that's police training.
But that's what
It,
Josh wanted. Josh wanted
right.
to continue to, because the prescription wouldn't have taken 3 funky minutes. It was liquid. So you purposely held it to fit your
The little
narrative.
dispenser.
It's liquid. It was a liquid. You could have poured it in. He filled it all the way up, which they never fill it up. That's why I'm questioning. I haven't given it to my son yet. But you literally held a prescription to fit your narrative that I was interfering with a business. What the heck? You could have had it filled.
You interfering with somebody having access to what their doctor prescribed. What type of violation is that? What type of violation is that?
It's got to be something.
But
And
the thing
there was no community service. I mean, customer service.
so I did a paper a while back on culture versus policy. Policy is what should happen in training.
Mm-hmm.
Culture is what what your ass do when you hit the floor, and they make it up, and they train folks on that once they get out there. And that's for CVS and for the officers. Their policy might tell them they do certain things a certain way, but they have picks and chooses, which goes back to the biasness and how you do it. Because, like you said, Chuck, you're supposed to separate. You're supposed to be able to try to
Yeah.
redirect. First of all, you're supposed to ask what's going on here and try to be. No, that's not what you did. Automatically, when you came, you was on the side of the person who called you, understanding that you are going back to the old creed of protecting the business. You protecting the business. You don't know this black woman, but you know this business that's right here in Ridgeland, and that's what you're assigned to protect. So
But
if he
wait,
called,
my
that must be true.
truck, I'm sorry, my husband's truck had law enforcement tags.
They don't care.
So you cannot say you did not know if you use that tactic. You cannot say that there was any law enforcement courtesy extended. You cannot say that there was any empathy given or sympathy expressed.
None.
You saw the color of my skin an already state that has already been systemically known to be racist through the history books. From slavery to lynching to the picking of cotton
to last year
with the pandemic
to right now.
Why are we not trying to get away from that? Why are you compounding more and more to say, yeah, we are overtly racist and we don't give a damn?
But that's why. Because they don't give a damn, because what's the accountability factor? Who's going to do something to them? And what are they going to do? And that's what I keep saying, that there is no reason to stop doing what you want to do, because there is no accountability factor. People only respect certain things if when you can interfere with their money. If they thought you had the capacity to pick up the phone and call their chief and interfere with their money, then it stops. It's a big difference. But they know they're looking at you and they just assume you don't have that capacity. So it's not about you as an individual. Man, listen, I've seen so much happen. And we have to organize. Everybody that's watching this now need to make sure they share not only this podcast, but the actual video that you can find on Cyndee's page, and share it with as many people as possible, especially those that are in capacity, in public official capacity, in different capacities around the state. They need to understand that we are not going to deal with this. We're not going to spend our money with them, and we're going to make sure that we hold them accountable. Because Cyndee, you need to file a complaint with the Better Business Bureau and send them the link and let them know the lack of empathy that they show, and that CVS is showing biasness towards their minority customers, and showing and telling you basically they don't want your business.
That's what they told. No, they told me. They told the officer to tell me not to come back. Go use the Walgreens.
Bitch, we didn't want to come back anyway.
I was like, as if I would. I mean,
really?
The building would be on fire, and I wouldn't dare call the police to tell them to put it out.
See, I'm gonna let Chuck talk to you for the rest of it, because somebody need to give Josh a massage.
Not Josh, not a massage. I would touch that nasty back.
Man. All right. So the action steps that we have here right now. So Cyndee, we're gonna make sure that you get the complaint filed with the Better Business Bureau for about CVS. The other thing that we're gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that either Dennis or CJ. I think those. I mean, Mac, would you say what Sweets or CJ?
I suggest we put this out there and see who's ready.
Okay.
Because we got two different complaints, right? We got two different complaints.
That's true.
And I think that you need to set up a meeting with some representatives, some people that can go with you to have in your capacity to meet with the chief, right? And you don't need to go by yourself, but you need to take some people with you and help them understand that this was not a law enforcement training issue. They like to always say, well, they need more training. They don't need more goddamn training. You can't teach people not to be racist. You can't teach people not to be biased. You know what I'm saying? They try to hold it in to keep themselves from getting in trouble. But clearly, there was a lack of empathy shown, clearly a lack of concern, and a lack of humanity. And Google review. Sabir, would you help her with the Google reviews? And we need to go ahead and we get everybody named mama. I don't care where they live at. We need to go ahead and do some Google reviews and send that for them. But this is not, I say again, from a good source, this is not the first complaint. There have been several complaints filed against this CVS. And it just so happened to be other black folks that have been filing this complaint. So when so they don't know each other. So they people don't know each other. Not like they got together and decided we're just gonna go we're gonna go shit on Josh. No. So, but I'm just saying. So there's accountability. Prime example: the black officers got there. They all had the same training, worked for the same agency, but had two different approaches. So you can't tell me about implicit biasness and racism when y'all both work for the same people on the same shift and handle the situation two different ways. It goes back to your individual, personal opinion and how you feel about certain stuff and how you value people. So that's what we got to handle. What Sabir say?
So we got file a complaint. We're gonna do a Google review campaign, and then attempt to get a meeting with RPDs, Ridgeland PDs, chief of police. Did I get that?
Yeah, that's it. And we need to be some complaints filed. Complaints need to be filed, and then need to go in their record. If he don't check and do nothing with it, but make an airplane, it needs to be.
It needs filed. To be on. Yeah,
you need to make sure it's filed and how they handle the situation, especially with that officer showing extra signs of aggression by literally coming trying to open your door with no justification.
Yeah,
and so that's what we're talking about. You are creating an antagonizing situation. You want her to react wrong. You didn't care about the children in the back. You wanted to be able to say you handled the situation. There's been a lot of talk about us coming up there, and they're gonna show us if we don't act right. And 90% of them wouldn't do shit if they ain't have a badge on them. 90%. But they feel super secure because they are high and behind. And I tell everybody that's in law enforcement, you need a new name to call these folks that disrespect the badge. And they don't need to be called police officers in law enforcement. That don't go for the same person that saved a child. You need a new name to call them because they do a disgrace to the badge and the disgrace for what a lot of good folks have done behind that badge when they do stuff like they did. This was it last Friday. So we're gonna push it Thursday. So we're gonna push it. We're gonna get it out. But we ain't got to do a physical protest. If I want to do a physical protest, we can do that too. But we need to not spend money with that CVS on Pear Orchard and County Line.
And we need to let America know that blue lives matter only when they're not black lives.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of? You've heard several times, a lot of times, of a black officer that was in plain clothes that was shot going to assist a white officer. And the only thing he saw was a black man approaching. When the last time you heard of a white officer being shot by a black officer that was in plain clothes? I've never heard of it.
Not ever.
But I always tell even my friends that are in law enforcement, I said, they're going to see your black before they see your blue every time. They're going to always see your black first.
Have mercy.
And there's some honest law enforcement officers out there that said when they driving down the road and they playing vehicle and they see a car behind them, it makes them nervous because you don't know what to expect that person to do. You don't know if that person going to be friendly, or you don't know if that person going to get out with their ass on their shoulders and trying to prove a point.
And that's
you don't know. And that's so again, when we talked about with Chandler, you want to talk about why the bad spin on media with officers and why children don't want to grow up and be police. When you're riding with your parent and you watch them being harassed and treated unhumane by a law enforcement officer.
Yeah.
And they had no due respect for them. So what's the big guy? Kick them in the ego nads with rough reviews. Only Sabir will put it that way. Kick them in the ego nads with rough reviews. I'm with Sabir on that. We need to put together a plan off air. Those who are interested, reach out to Cyndee and we'll put something together where we make sure that we advocate and hold folks accountable when this thing happens.
That's right.
And we got to keep doing it. Don't say they ain't gonna do nothing. You need to make it loud. You need to make sure that we have paperwork, and we need to always maintain your composure and your emotions when you're in these situations, because that's one of the main things they're gonna use.
She did it.
She did good. She did. Yeah. Oh, she was heated. You can see it. I bet them nostrils flaring, boy. You couldn't see them nostrils. I bet them nostrils looking like James Evan from Good Times. You know, she was out there. I can't blame her. I can't blame her. We've been, oh man, it's been bad. You know, you of course you protect for your children, and you don't know which way this thing is gonna go.
Right.
But I think you did a good job with that. Any other comments? Anybody out there? If you had any questions, any other questions?
Well, we've got some attorneys that have been tagged in the comments. So
okay,
we definitely want to put some teeth behind what we're saying, put some energy, some effort, some enthusiasm behind the conversation that we've had here tonight. We got some action steps, but we also need some legal representation, to make sure that we do this the right way, and we do it in a manner where we are protecting Cyndee and her family. So Cyndee, we appreciate you for joining us tonight. Do you have any closing remarks or any wise words or any type of encouragement that you would like to provide to the nightcappers out there tonight?
No, I think I said everything I need to say. Once again, I just want to say thank you. It is imperative that we don't let this go mute, because if it was me this time, but it may be someone else the next time, and it may be worse because they don't have the know-it-all on what to do or what they should have done. We can always say what we'll do in hindsight. It's different when you're actually in that situation. So we want to prayerfully, I will be the last one that Ridgeland PD and CVS on County Line, Perry Orchard, Ridgeland, Mississippi does this too.
Yeah. That is our prayer. That is our plea. And as always, y'all, we always trying to get to where, we did this in a minute, but we're trying to get to where the money resides. Wait. We're going to hit them where the money resides. We're going to hit their ass where the money resides. This is right on point for this tonight. I'm telling you. We're going to hit them where the money resides, y'all. This is Nightcap Knowledge. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. My name is DJ George Chuck. That's Mr. Mac. Cyndee, we appreciate you once again. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Spira Pura. Go throw it up one time, Mac. Go throw it up one time. Get you some water in your system. Make sure you get your nightcap. And as always, tune in every Tuesday, 9 p.m. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
What about the flyers?
Thank you.
We got the flyers coming up. Once again, the 6th annual Mississippi Black Business Expo, the People's Marketplace. That is August the 21st, right there in Jacktown, Mississippi. And this weekend, we have a number of events coming up, and I got into the conversation, and I forgot to load them. But we're going to get them. Y'all are still out there. Y'all listen to me. Cyndee, we appreciate you for coming on. And this has all been brought to you by Mississippi Move, and we have a couple of other things to make sure that you are in the know about. We've got the Freedom Celebration. That is July 30th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. You got to put on your funky face mask. Put your face drawers on. Put your face condom on to come up in here. And we are going to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Freedom Rides, 61st anniversary of the beginning of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and we will also celebrate the 80th birthday of Brother Hollis Watkins Muhammad. He's a Tougaloo alum. He's a former SNCC member and a veteran of the Mississippi Civil Rights Movement. That's all going down at Tougaloo College this Friday, July 30th, 5 to 7 p.m. And check this out. This is Brother Hollis along with Albert Sykes. We got Mac, we got Mailman, and we got DJ Young Venom and Young Riley all in the place to be. Now, let's see. I'm gonna give this to you right on the screen. HBCU Day Party, and it is the school supply drive. If you didn't get your ticket in advance, you have an opportunity to get your school supply drive, get credit for what you're doing. You want to make a difference? We got something for you. So you can show up that Saturday. I love my HBCU Greek and Day Party. School supply drive, that's July 31st. You get $5 off your admission if you donate school supplies. I ain't talking about a pack of pencils. I mean, you're going to have to donate at least 2 supplies. If you're going to buy pencils, you need to buy a few packs of pencils. We want to make sure we push this thing forward. The supplies will be distributed by Mississippi Move and Mississippi Greek Weekend. So you got your plans. You need to govern yourself accordingly. Now, if you got something that you want to do on Sunday and you ain't figured it out yet, I think we got a little something for you. That is the Family Day in Utica. That is coming up. That one's too large for me to upload, Mac. So look, hey, that's what she said. You can go ahead and we'll put it in the comments. We'll put it on the Instagram. We'll make sure that you got all of your things to do. But most definitely, we want y'all to come out to this one, and we want y'all to drop off some of these school supplies here. So this is on my Instagram. It's on the Mississippi Move, Mississippi Greek Weekend Instagram. All of it. We'll see y'all right here next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Central Time. And once again, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to all the Sigmas in the building. Shout out to all the Saras in the building. And we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Peace out.